Hello and good day everyone, and welcome back to Mind of AK. For those new D-Class viewers, I am AK Wright, a writing sculptor, sculpting writer, or whatevs. And today we are diving into one of my favorite creative outlets, the SCP Foundation, which I'll give insight on throughout the video. Today I'm creating my personal favorite SCP, that being SCP-354, the Red Pond. As you are seeing on screen, I'm starting out with a red bowl that I got from my local Walmart, and I made a makeshift base from some leftover styrofoam, which I'm putting an indent with the bottom of the bowl, measuring its placement, and now I'm going to be taking aluminum foil to seal the foam in, and I'm also going to double this as a potential terrain for this week's diorama. As I'm sure you noticed by the thumbnail, SCP-354 is essentially a large body of red liquid that forms a lake. Very evil liquid. I'll be touching more on this later on, but to provide a method to my madness, there's a few depictions of this, and generally all of them have this in the winter months and quote-unquote contained by SCP personnel. For my project today, I actually wanted to pull the veil back and make a creation to showcase how this could have been discovered and haphazardly maintained before the Foundation became aware of it. Okay, I think the moment passed on this. So, just to proceed, I'm going to be making several batches of plaster for the diorama, which will insulate the foil and also secure the bowl in place. This week's specialty will be a blend of apple barrel antique white, folk art color shifting silver, Mod Podge hard coat, and a half cup of water for each batch. Each batch will have a working time of approximately 10 to 15 minutes and will fully harden within an hour. My general practice though is to allow a full 24 hours before I continue, just to let it harden fully, since there are other elements that are mixed in. In hindsight, since it's going to be primarily white anyway, I could have done without the paint and just used the plaster, but habits be habits, you know? While I'm applying all the plaster, let me give you some info on what the SCP Foundation and what SCPs are. Besides amazing. Per the official wiki article, launched on January 19, 2008, the SCP Foundation is a fictional secret organization documented by the collaborative writing wiki project of the same name. With the website's shared universe, the Foundation is responsible for capturing, containing, and studying various paranormal, supernatural, and other mysterious phenomena unexplained by science, known as anomalies or SCPs, while also keeping their existence hidden from the rest of human society. In my depiction, I imagine the poor individuals who found this did their best to build a makeshift wire fence around the pond, which I created with measured out bamboo skewers and will wrap them later with thin floral wire. For the SCP itself, one of 354's most notable attributes is a random appearance of tentacles that emerge from the pond or the pool. So after I measure the length of them, on a scrap wood base, I shape out 3 strands of aluminum wire and then wrap them in foil. Once I'm satisfied with their positioning, it's time to sculpt, and my clay of choice this week will be Super Sculpey and Original Blend. As we start the official sculpting process this week, let's give you some information on what exactly is known about SCP-354. Per the official document, SCP-354 is a pool of red liquid discovered in northern Canada. The liquid is of a consistency similar to that of human blood, hence the name Blood Pond, but it is not of a biological nature. The pool does not have definitive banks. Soil mixes with the liquid until, at a certain point, there is more soil than liquid and the ground is mostly solid. The liquid becomes denser as one descends deeper into the pool. If the pool has a bottom, it has yet to be reached. Periodically, entities emerge from the pool and attempt to escape from the enclosure. Thus far, nearly all creatures emerging from SCP-354 have been extremely hostile and highly dangerous. SCP-354 is believed to have been first discovered in redacted by survivors of a plane crash who encountered SCP-354 by chance. SCP-354 has developed into a local urban legend long before Foundation personnel arrived to deal with the threat. As I've stated before, normally doing recreations or fan renders of popular known characters or tales is somewhat outside of my comfort level, so when I do take the plunge, I generally want to be as dedicated to making the image in the vein of the original as closely as possible. That said, for this project, I allowed a slight avenue of creative control, and instead of making all the tentacles identical, I made each of them with varied features and styling as a subtle way of stating that all these tentacles may belong to separate creatures, including a supremely large one that I made for the middle. Unfortunately, this one specifically started to appear as a different type of appendage more commonly associated with a part of the male anatomy, so for the secondary of my channel, I'm doing a planned jump cut to where I'm continuing the detail and defense with the thin floor wire that I discussed earlier. The feature section staved off my channel, I finished wrapping thin floor wire across my posts, then secured them in place using professional glue. On varied areas on the top wire, I cut small pieces of wire and wrapped them to visually appear like they're barbed wire, placing them in varied areas across the top. The barbed wire strands will also get glued into place before continuing on to the next steps. Because I felt this was too plain of a terrain, factored in the room and location of this death pond, I acquired some standard moss and will glue them in abundance in some areas and some stragglers elsewhere. This also doubles to hide some areas where the plaster shattered after drying, so there isn't too much foil to be seen. It doesn't fully cover all the areas, but the point is still made in my opinion. Once my moss is locked in, I secure my plethora of spine-tingling tentacles across the inside area in varied locations. With my tentacles all set, it is time to paint with my amazing airbrush kit. Today's paint job will be done completely with Apple Barrel matte acrylic paint in Red Apple and Tuscan Red, and Folk Art Color Shift in Silver. All the tentacles get the exact same color in what is unanimously my easiest paint job of the past few years. Initially, I did want to add shading to them in brown or black, but as I was already worried about their appearance as lower male extremities, the color would have had them, how can I put this? Wasteful. So, red it is. Finishing this week's paint job and before my final steps, I just want to share again my absolute appreciation and love for the SCP Foundation and its lore. This is a 100% fan-created experience, and it continues to grow in scope and size every day. There are so many SCPs that I love, including this one where I can't remember the number, but essentially proves a lesser-known theory that dinosaurs are the ones who created the internet billions of years ago. Seriously, if you're a fan of ARGs or just original fan fiction, click the link in the description. I guarantee there's something there you're going to like, if not love. I paint a layer of red across the rim of the pond and across some of the moss. Then to create my congealed mass of death, I'll be using a 2-part A and B resin this week, mixed in equal portions. To bring the vibrance to this, I'll be using eye candy pigments in Indian red, and a few drops of red alcohol pigment and some glitter. Whenever you use any type of resin, it is vital that you use all forms of protective equipment and follow all instructions to ensure your health is not put at risk. After blending for 5 minutes, the mixture was poured right into the bowl. I did run out of resin this week, but I had just enough for 2 additional batches to get this close to filled as possible. After I drizzle some resin across the wire and coat the areas of the tentacles, this catter-level monstrosity is ready for its moment in the spotlight, so I believe it's now time that we welcome on the smaction shots. You know, I do have a lot of goals in life. I didn't realize hoping something like this never existing would firmly be in my top 5, but here we are. That said, I do hope you enjoyed watching me bring this to life today, and if you did and would like to see more like it, feel free to like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and set bell notifications for all future updates. Believe me, everything does help. I do plan on doing other SCPs down the line this year, but I'm already deep into next week's sculpture, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Until then, I want you all to stay loved, feel blessed, and believe in yourselves. And if you can't, I'll believe in you until you're ready. Take care, guys and gals, and I will see you next week.